Okay, so for the type of question that you will run into is that you will run into unit solve equations. So most of the work that you will do on Monday is a solve an equation. When you solve equation, there's a couple types. There's several examples that I break it down into different video. For this one, just to review, you should be able to see this a link at the end of the day today. For this one, is when the variable is on both sides, okay, on the left and on the right. So my advice to most of you is draw that line to say that I'm going to separate the left and the right side, okay? Then ask yourself, if I look at 11x and negative 3x, if I look at this one, I was like, okay, they're on the opposite side. So what I would do is that I'm going to do opposite operation. So I don't like the negative, so I will move the 3x over. That's what I would do. It's okay if you choose to move the 11x over. That is fine. So this gives me 14x minus 153 equal 113. Okay. Now again, if you look over here, I have two numbers, but they're on the opposite side. So I would do the opposite operation. If they're on the opposite side, do opposite operation. So plus 153. So that will be 14x equal to 266. To solve for this one, the final step would be divide by 14 because I don't have anything else to combine like terms. So x will be, if you divide 266 divided by 14, let's divide quickly, or if you have the calculator, you may. I will insert a scientific calculator for you to use on, whoops, I just covered it. I will insert that in for you to use while you're taking the summative. So you should have a calculator on the screen for you to use for these problems, okay? Question for me on this one. This is the one where you have variable on both sides. And how do we move it? So the trick I use is draw the line, ask yourself, it's on the opposite side. I will do the opposite operation to move it over. All right. For now, I won't be able to look at the chat. So if you want to ask questions, just unmute and ask me a question. Otherwise, I'm not looking at the chat right now, okay? All right, let's look at the next example that I think I want you to look at is this problem, okay? This look like division. This is the division problems. How do we solve for this one? So you will see couple problems like this in your summative. I will draw the line. If you can think of this, when you solve this type of question, the one thing is really annoying is that fraction on the bottom, the denominator. So to get rid of it, so I would always get rid of my denominator by multiply that number on both sides. So cancel it. This gives you negative 30. And now I can solve the equation like I normally would, right? So when you see the fraction or the denominator, that's the first thing I would do. I'm going to get rid of the denominator by multiply the denominator on both sides. Now I can just look over here. I have 10 and 30. They are like term. Again, to move it away, I'm doing the opposite. Get me negative 40. Negative 8 divided by negative 8. X would be 5, okay? So for this one, it looks scary, but it actually is not too bad. Just multiply the denominator, and we can just go forward. It's okay if you don't want to ask question right now. You can type in the chat, or you can ask me question later. That is fine. I have no problem with that. But this is another type of problem that you will run into. I know for some of you, like this one is too fast. I cannot copy this down. What you can do is I definitely will upload this handout up in the notes again for you. As soon as I'm done with this note, I will upload that along with a video for you, so you will have it in record. But at the same time, it's really a good idea for you to jot it down somewhere on a piece of paper and do this with me. Okay, I'm not gonna finish number 5, but I think that I can just go ahead and start how I would approach this problem. If I look over here, if I see parentheses, definitely I have to distribute that in. Negative 2x, negative, negative turn into positive. Okay. For this one, if I look over here, I have 7x and negative 2x. They're on the same side, so I don't do opposite if they're on the same side. I just do what I see. Negative 7 minus 2 give me negative 9. Okay. I won't finish this problem. I will let you finish on your own. We will have more time to practice today, but that's how I approach a problem when I run into parentheses. So that's so far you run into 3 types. You will have variable on both sides. You're going to run into something like a fraction, and then you have parentheses for you to distribute. Before I look at the last type of problems, I just want you to remind you you will run into special case. Why did I use yellow? Sorry. You may run into this one. It's called special cases, where the variable cancel out. You will have that one objective where the variable are cancel out. You will end up with like a statement where it can be a true statement or it can be a false statement. A false statement, this is true, this is false, then it has 0 solution. When you have this one as a true statement, then you have many solution, infinitely many solution, or you can say infinitely. So on Monday, that will the time that you have to type in your answer. So you want to type in infinitely many solution. You want to type it in because I don't think you can type in this symbol. So you can say that many solution, infinitely many solutions. So you will run into special problems, okay? Special cases where they will cancel out and you run into either the true statement or false statement. I think that is pretty much what I want to go over, except there's one more. It's called the literal equation, which I think that is the one that seemed like most of us struggled last time. So I will use this. I'm gonna use just a blank page. Okay. I will write this problem. If you can copy it down somewhere, let's see if I have this y equal mx plus b. And I want you to solve, and we want to solve for x. So this is the type of problem I seem like either some of you did really well or really struggle with it. So I want to go over this example. We're going to practice this. I believe this should be the first problem for you to practice. So I would do is draw the line, okay? I would highlight the letter that I want to isolate. I want x values. That means I need to move everything over. So since m is right next to x, I don't touch that one. I move the one that's further away first. I do the opposite. Y and b are not the same, so I just write what I see, y minus b. So I still want x values. I need to move the m away. To move it away, I'm doing the opposite operation, this multiplication. So I divide by m. Go ahead and draw the entire line, right, for the whole thing. So this cancel out, so my answer would be y minus b over m. So here's the problem when you type this in Schoology when you take the summative next week is that you cannot do it will not look as a fraction. So this is how I want you to write in Schoology when you take that summative is that you can put parentheses y minus b over m. Okay. If you type in this way, then your answer will be correct. So when you take the summative, I will ask you to upload your work as well. So you cannot just put the answer, and I'm not going to grade it until I see you upload your work. You have to show what you do, just in case you run into this problem, like you need me to look at your work and give you partial credit. So you want to upload your work at the end, right? So these are the type of questions that you will see Monday.